Welcome everyone, this is On Just Restart, and this time we're talking about why Nintendo has chosen to make DLC for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe as opposed to a brand new Mario Kart game. What's the deal here? Why are they going in this direction? What does it mean for the future of both Mario Kart and the Switch? Well, that's what we're talking about today. Now before we jump into things, let me first very quickly talk about my social media. You may see a few different things here on screen. You can check that all out. It is linked in the description below. And of course, if you like what you're seeing here, you can subscribe or perhaps even consider joining as a member. So first, let's talk about the details of what this is. So officially, it's called Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass. And we are getting 6 waves of Mario Kart 8 DLC tracks, remade tracks throughout the entire history of Mario Kart. They're getting added to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe between March 18th being the release date, the first wave, and the very last wave comes out at the end of 2023. 6 waves over the course of less than 2 years, and it's totaling out to 48 tracks. That will be doubling the amount of tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe for a total of 96 tracks once everything is said and done. And we are getting all of this at the price of $24.99, $25 US, and if you have the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack, you get it all for free. I think this is huge. I think this is awesome. I'm very excited about it. Just because I'm making this video questioning why Nintendo is doing this does not mean I'm not excited about it. Quite the contrary, I am very excited about it. But there are some very interesting implications here. Why is Nintendo doing this? Why does this make sense? What does it mean for the future of a lot of things here? We're getting into that. So firstly, the most obvious thing that I think that should be mentioned in terms of explaining why this may be happening is the sales of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Every year, the game is still selling millions. It is the true definition of evergreen. It continues to sell. Its life on the market is strong. It's one of the best-selling games even now. And it's sitting at 43.35 million. It is the best-selling game on Switch. It is pulling ahead of everything else. Nothing's gaining on it. And really, it's not slowing down. So Nintendo is capitalizing on this. This DLC is only going to strengthen the sales, and it's going to continue on. It's going to continue to sell a few million every year, and this game may end up selling like 60 million copies once everything is said and done, which is insane. But with these strong sales in mind, not only does it make sense for Nintendo to put out DLC to continue these strong sales, but also, almost everyone has Mario Kart 8. If there's a game that you're gonna pick to have free content that everyone can get, you pick Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Which brings me to the other reason that I think makes sense here. Well, there's a few other reasons, but the other reason I'm getting at here is improving upon Nintendo Switch Online. Nintendo Switch Online, the expansion pack, has seen quite a bit of controversy. But one thing Nintendo did to try and add value was add the Animal Crossing New Horizons DLC for free to the pack. And that made a lot of sense. Why? Because Animal Crossing is the second best-selling game on Switch. So in order to put out free content for something that's going to appeal to the largest amount of people as possible, you're going to add free content to one of the best-selling games on Switch because that's one of the games that most people have and will benefit the most amount of people. So they did it for Animal Crossing, the second best-selling game on Switch. But that alone wasn't enough, as it has seemed. So what's the next best thing they can do? Well, add free DLC to the best-selling game on the platform to reach even more people and appeal to even more people and get even more people interested in the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. Now, the weird angle to this is that this is such an old game at this point. We never see DLC added this late into any game's life cycle. But on the flip side, going back to the sales, you rarely see a game selling this strong this many years after its initial release or even its secondary release. It's just ridiculous what's going on here. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is a very unique scenario, but the reason Nintendo's doing this DLC is because it's the best way to push their online service with this free DLC content. But I believe it goes even beyond that, beyond capitalizing on the sales and pushing Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. I think it also has to do with filling the void for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Now, we've talked about in the past how Nintendo may use a new Mario Kart to fill that void. But instead what they're doing is relying on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and we're going to be getting a new wave every few months or so. We're getting 6 waves over the course of less than a 2-year span. Let's estimate a 20 to 21 month window there. Every 3 or 4 months, we're going to be seeing a new wave of Mario Kart tracks, which is going to include 2 Grand Prix, 8 new tracks each time. And this is going to give people something to be excited about every time there's a Nintendo Direct, because they're going to be thinking, oh, we're going to get new Mario Kart tracks announced. I wonder which ones they're going to be. What does that sound like? Just like Smash Brothers. Oh man, there's going to be another Smash character announced. I wonder who it's going to be. There's going to be that speculation, that discussion, and it's going to be something that's going to create more of a publicity, an attention, an anticipation for Nintendo announcements, which is just great marketing for Nintendo. The Smash hype cycle is important, and that void should have been filled, and it is getting filled with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass. So because of the sales, because of Nintendo wanting to push Nintendo Switch Online, and because they want to fill the Smash void so they can have a lot more hype and discussion and anticipation for their announcements, it all makes sense. Absolutely. But this also has implications for what's coming in the future. Because typically we see a new Mario Kart, a new 3D Mario, a new Smash Brothers, a new Zelda, relatively early on in a system's life cycle, especially 3D Mario and Mario Kart. They're usually out within about a year of the system's life. There are exceptions, but they try to get them out as soon as possible. Maybe I just say within the first 2 years, pretty much we'll see a new Mario Kart, a new 3D Mario by that point for every single Nintendo system. So with this DLC coming now, and it ending in 2023, where does that place our expectations for the next Mario Kart 10? Because Mario Kart Tour has now been proven to be a part of the Mario Kart canon or hierarchy or history here. We're getting tour tracks in there, which will basically be new tracks for me and a lot of other people, which is cool. But basically, Mario Kart Tour is Mario Kart 9. So Mario Kart 10, when is that happening? It ain't happening this year. It ain't happening next year with the DLC. And it's probably not going to happen in 2024 immediately after the release of all the DLC. And by that point, we're talking about 2025 at the very earliest. And it may not even be then, because just a year's gap between Mario Kart DLC and then the new Mario Kart, that seems like maybe a bit of a stretch. Do we really honestly expect to see the next Smash Brothers next year? No, we don't. That seems unreasonable, right? That's kind of a similar situation here. But also, I feel like most people will agree with me that by 2025, heck, maybe even sooner than that, I mean, I've been thinking holiday 2023, we see new hardware. And by new hardware, I mean the next generation system. And that isn't to say that the Switch will be phased out. I think the Switch will still stay relevant for a couple of years while that next system is out there. But the timing of things really gets muddied up here, because I'm having a hard time seeing Nintendo coming out with a Mario Kart 10 in 2025. Maybe it comes out 2026. Maybe Switch 2 doesn't come out until 2024. If that's the case, maybe that's how it works, and Nintendo could get away with that. I could see it happening. That could work. But there might be another angle here. It may very well be the case that Nintendo will follow the pattern, and there will be new hardware coming out in 2023. When I say pattern, I mean every 2 to 2.5 years we see new hardware from Nintendo. And I'm thinking that in 2023, it ain't going to be a mid-gen refresh. It's going to be actual new hardware, like a next generation. But what I'm thinking may happen here, and this is obviously speculation, it's going to be handled in a way where the transition from base Switch to Switch 2 isn't really going to be that strenuous of a transition. It may even be the case that all of your games on Switch will work on Switch 2. Perhaps even vice versa. Maybe games are just going to be cross-compatible forwards and backwards, which would then make the Switch 2 seem more like a mid-gen refresh. But what could be happening is that at first, it will all play the same games, but little by little, there will be some exclusives added here and there, and eventually there will be a transition as Switch is phased out. Switch 2 will be more prevalent after a few years, and that's how it's going to sort of function. Basically, kind of how Nintendo transitioned from Game Boy to Game Boy Color. Maybe in that way, or maybe how a lot of phones are handled now, where you have the iPhone and the iPhone 6 lasts for a good 7, 8, 9 years, but then at some point they will be phased out and you will have to upgrade to the next iPhone, or at least a slightly newer iPhone, that way it can work on servers. If you want to get new games coming out at some point or another, you will have to get hardware that is less than 8 years old. That may be how Nintendo could be handling this. And what that also may entail is that this Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is going to be here to stay for a very long time. They may start to position Mario Kart and Smash Bros. As more of platforms as opposed to individual releases, and they are the ultimate versions of their particular games. Which brings me to another point. It's going to be hard to follow up both Smash Bros. And Mario Kart 8 Deluxe with all of this content they're going to have. So what do? Well, if they just treat them as platforms and they continue to iterate upon them, and you just play these particular games when you have a Nintendo system, then that's how it's going to work for a very long time. Maybe eventually they do some sort of reboot, but Smash Ultimate and Mario Kart 8 Deluxe are appearing to be the definitive Mario Karts and Smash Brothers for a very, very long time. But you know what? As long as we're getting new content, I'm okay with that. Mario Kart 8 is awesome. I think Mario Kart 8 is the most polished Mario Kart has ever been in terms of racing, and I think visually it still holds up incredibly well. And if we're getting double the amount of new tracks, that's just gonna be spectacular. I can't wait. This is gonna be a good time. But certainly this is a game changer. What do you guys think? What do you make of this Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass situation? Wow, that was a mouthful. Anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below. This is On Just Restart. Thank you so much for listening and watching, and I'll see you all really soon. Take care. Bye.